Gen 9 competitive singles has so far been defined by some of the most powerful and explosive offensive threats we've ever seen. With more Pokemon bans than ever this early on in a metagame, the amount of insanely dominant and centralizing offensive threats in Gen 9 has made playing this game an absolute rollercoaster. But now that the dust has settled and many of the problematic Pokemon have been banned, one of the most dominant forces in the game has shown itself. And it's not an offensive Pokemon, but a defensive one. Garganacl has been one of the most effective and frustrating to fight Pokemon in Gen 9 competitive singles so far. Let's take a look at why this Salt Pyramid is making people so salty. Be sure to check out my second channel, linked in the pinned comment, for Pokemon Showdown ladder gameplay videos. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more informative content about Gen 9 competitive singles. The first thing that immediately stands out about Garganacl is that it looks like Donkey Kong's head shoved inside of a pyramid. This Pokemon is a rock type, a famously poor defensive type, with 5 weaknesses, 3 of those being to some of the most common types in the game: ground, water, and fighting. You'd better make up for it in other areas if you're a defensive rock type. And Garganacl certainly does. Many rock types have high physical defense and poor special defense, making their defensive flexibility quite limited. Garganacl's stat distribution is much better than most defensive rock types, with a solid HP and special defense stat, along with fantastic base defense. This Pokemon's bulk is excellent. You can afford to invest all of your EVs into special defense when your base defense is this good, which means you can function very effectively as a mixed wall. But there's more. Garganacl has one of the best abilities Pokemon has ever seen: Purifying Salt. This ability grants a complete immunity to all status effects, along with a resistance to Ghost-type attacks. One of the best ways to handle annoying defensive Pokemon that can heal repeatedly, shrug off hits, and never die is to status them. Toxic puts them on a clock, and means they can't just heal up repeatedly forever. But not Garganacl. This ability makes you immune to one of the most prominent ways to handle defensive walls, and makes you just that much more unkillable and annoying. If the immunity to status effects wasn't enough, the resistance to Ghost is also extremely useful. Ghost is one of the most common types in competitive singles, with its valuable immunities and strong neutral damage against most types. Resisting Ghost is more valuable than ever, and it enhances the value of having a Garganacl on your team tremendously. On top of all these amazing traits, Garganacl has a really good move pool. It has access to Recover for a form of immediate healing, Stealth Rock, Body Press to take advantage of that huge defense stat, and even Iron Defense to boost it even further and act as a win condition sometimes. And most notably of all, Garganacl has a new signature move, Salt Cure. This is a 40 power physical attack that applies a damage over time effect to the enemy. They take 1/8 of their health and damage every turn until they switch out, and if they're a steel or water type, they take 1/4 of their health and damage every turn. Although this damage over time effect isn't permanent and can be removed upon switching out, what's great about it is that nothing is immune to it. Status effects like Toxic and Will-O-Wisp, even though they're great and very strong options, have counterplay. There are Pokemon types that are immune to them, and abilities that block them. Nothing is immune to the Salt Cure effect, not even Pokemon that are usually immune to status effects because of their abilities. 1/8 of a Pokemon's health every turn is significant residual damage, and 1/4 of a Pokemon's health every turn against water and steel types is obviously even crazier. Water and steel are 2 of the best and most common types in the game, and are also both types that are super effective against Garganacl. Salt Cure allowing you to seriously punish Pokemon that are supposed to threaten and counter you is another way that Garganacl makes up for the often underwhelming defensive rock typing. There is a new item in Gen 9 called Covert Cloak that makes you immune to the secondary effects of attacks. This is a form of counterplay to Salt Cure, and as of right now in the Gen 9 metagame, the most relevant move this helps you against is Salt Cure. Although this does make you more effective against Garganacl, if Garganacl's existence alone demands you to run this item instead of another advantageous item such as Leftovers or Rocky Helmet, then Garganacl has indirectly gotten some value just by existing. Another thing that pushes Garganacl even further over the edge is Terastallize, the new mechanic of Gen 9. Garganacl is a prime example of a Pokemon that can defensively Terastallize by becoming a powerful monotype like Water, Fairy, or Ghost. When you have so many positive traits going for you, and the main drawback is your typing. Becoming a new type that fixes all of your problems is extremely high value and turns you into a frustratingly unkillable monster. Terra Fairy is an incredible option. The only type that beats both Rock and Fairy is Steel, and Steel types are threatened by Salt Cure. Terra Water, Flying, and Ghost are also fantastic options that grant resistances or immunities to prior weaknesses and limit the ways Garganacl can be threatened. Folks, I don't know how they managed to shove Donkey Kong in between one of the pyramids, but whoever did this is probably regretting it right about now. They've created an abomination that has shown itself to be one of the definitive new Gen 9 Pokemon in competitive singles. What do you think of Garganacl? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What new Gen 9 Pokemon has been your favorite to use in competitive singles so far? And what would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you for watching. Check out my second channel, linked in the pinned comment, for Showdown ladder gameplay videos. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more informative content about Gen 9 competitive singles. Thank you to the patrons. If you'd like to see a team that you built feature in one of my videos, or request a video topic for me to cover, take a look at my Patreon link in the description for more information.
The money got different, 'cause of what I'm spending. The money got different,
Oh, it's
'cause of what I'm
Megaphone!
spending.
Whoa!
The money
KO
got
by one
different,
hit! It
'cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different, 'cause of what I'm spending.